Alright everybody, we're now moving into chapter 5 of Marx's Capital, which is entitled Contradictions in the General Formula of Capital. We looked at the general formula of capital in the last chapter, and that was denoted by MCM, where M has an increment, denoting that it is more money received than what was initially advanced. And if we remember from the last few chapters, I looked at this idea that for commodities to exchange, there has to be some point of equivalence between them, some third thing by which they both have an equal value of, so that they can change hands. And that third thing would be socially necessary labor time. And that would ultimately be the determinant of that commodity's exchange value. And this would be the law by which commodities exchange in Marx's system. But if we look at the formula of capital, MCM, how then, if all commodities exchange at their value, do we get a surplus value on the received amount of money at the end of the circuit? How do we get money becoming more money if the commodities being bought and sold are all exchanging at their values? There would seem to be a contradiction here. And so Marx is going to bring up this contradiction in this chapter and then answer it in the subsequent chapters. And so Marx is going to concede that use values can be exchanged unevenly. It's because everyone who owns a commodity and is wanting to sell it doesn't see any use value in that commodity, otherwise they wouldn't be selling it, but they do see use value in the commodity they're wanting to buy. So when an exchange takes place, both owners of the commodities receive a greater use value than they give away. That is the motivation behind the exchange, to increase use values. But exchange values, on the other hand, cannot, because exchange values have to be quantitatively equivalent in each other in order for an exchange to take place. And so the surplus value of M cannot be explained by the commodity being bought or sold above or below its value, or what is called swindling. And even if we assume that commodities could be bought and sold at different exchange values, as soon as I sell a commodity for 10% above its actual value, I would just be buying the commodity for 10% over its actual value as well the next time that I need to buy a commodity. And so what would end up happening is I would just be losing the money that I gained from selling it as soon as I have to go buy it. And so there would be this regression to the mean, so to speak. And so value then can only be expanded by adding fresh labor. And this is going to give us insight into Marx's explanation for how this contradiction in the general formula of capital can be remedied. And so for money to become more money, Marx is going to suggest that some type of usury has to take place. There has to be some type of exploitation. And of course that is going to be the basis of Marx's theory of exploitation, which we'll be exploring in the next few chapters.